What's up, Destined Ones? It's Kaz, and we got another dragon, and that means another comprehensive boss guide from me. This is Kang-Jin Loong, a Chapter 3 dragon. I'm going to do this like my other boss guides, which is show you all of his moves, how to defend against them, where the vulnerability windows are, a little bit of attack strategy, and then I'm going to show the entire boss battle where I beat him. If this video or any of my videos do anything for you, don't forget to light attack that subscribe button and heavy attack that like button. It means a lot. Every watch gives me a couple pennies, and that adds up, and half of anything I ever make goes to a charity every 3 months. The first move is the first move I saw 100% of the time, what I'm calling the flying bobsled, where Kang-Jin Loong sort of coils up, gets all ready, and then darts at you real fast. Now, if you do get eaten up on this move, it does a ton of damage. It's one of those boss cutscene moves where he throws you around, messes you all up, and spits you out. So there are a couple things you should do. You should probably just focus on dodging it. It's not that hard. If you want to be really bold, you can get all the way up on your pillar stance, and you basically want to try and get him right as he gets to your staff. And if you do that, you're going to get a nice little vulnerability window. Alright, the next move I call Cool Electric Breeze, because it's like any other dragon. Kang-Jin Loong breathes fire, only it's electric fire or frozen fire. It's not good if it gets you, and you can see in this particular move there's like quite a big build-up, a lot of slithering going on, and generously Kang-Jin Loong sort of starts the fire from a little ways away so you can pick it up, and when you do, you just always want to roll in the direction it's coming from. No real vulnerability window here. Next move is from tail to tongue. There's like a coil wind up followed by a tail swipe and another cool electric breeze. So as we slow it down, you can identify this from the wind up because there is this coil, and it's not the first slap, it's the second one you want to dodge, which I don't. And then that cool electric breeze comes right away, and you can see I rolled to the right when the fire was coming from the left to the right, so I should have rolled left. So here we go. I rolled right, but I should have rolled left there. And then again, not a huge vulnerability window unless you're really close to them. Next we have Elevated Cool Electric Breeze. It's often the first thing that Kang-Jin Loong does after they sort of elevate, and it's just a big electric cool breeze coming at you, and it sort of goes all over the place. So again, the number one thing here is to just roll in the direction it's coming from, and you'll be in good shape if you just do that when it's close to you. The next I call the Dance of Ice and Fire. It's essentially a swipe of a claw, a stomp of a claw, and then a couple spirals of the cool electric breeze that we talked about before. So you can see there's the swipe, here's a stomp. You just want to try and dodge those. There's enough buildup. You should be able to pick it up. And for this, like every other cold electric breeze, we're just going to roll in the way that it's coming from, and we should be good. And there's not a huge range, and the range gets lower and lower. So when you see that, just back the hell up. And like so many other of Kang-Jin Loong's moves, there's not a huge vulnerability window after, and we'll talk more about that in attack strategy. The next move is Double Lightning. It's a ranged attack where there's an indicator at your feet with a little light and electricity that tells you a lightning bolt's about to strike here, and then so you roll, and then another one wherever you land will show up. So you just roll again. This is not tough. But like everything else, not much of a vulnerability window after. Of course, we've had the Dance of Ice and Fire, and now the Song of Ice and Fire. Look at that beautiful singing voice. This is like a full-blown lightning storm. You can see the dragon's mouth glows, and that kind of indicates to you. The secret here is to just keep running. Sometimes they'll do it kind of from the ground for a shorter lightning attack. Sometimes they'll do it from the air for a much longer attack, and so long as you keep moving, you're fine. Of course, just pay attention. I typically take my targeting off of the dragon during this so that I'm able to not get into this situation here. The next move I call the old Swipe and Slam. It's a claw swipe straight forward that sort of sends electricity in a straight line, and then a big old tail thwap right on your forehead. So let's watch it in slow-mo. There's not a huge build-up here. claw goes down, a lot of light and electricity, that tells you move. And all you need to do is roll, and then you need to be able to pick this particular one up and some of their other moves, because you can get a nice perfect dodge after this, and this is like the best vulnerability window. That tail stays down long enough. I would encourage immobilize when this happens. The next move is swipe, no slam. It's just that claw coming down and a big old swipe. And just note that, and you can't see it perfectly here, there's that buildup where there's a bit of a barrel roll, and then they dig their claw into the ice and send it, and that just tells you it's going to send electricity over a distance, so you need to dodge and get out of the way. Not much of a vulnerability window after. On to smash and stab. This is 2 smashes of the claws, a big coil up, and then a stab with his entire body. Let's slow it down. So you can see there's a little bit of a build-up. 1, 2 slams into the ground with some lightning action. But then you get these nice 3 coils that tell you it's coming, so you can pick it up and avoid and do a good job then of getting a couple licks in. There is a tiny vulnerability window after that one. Next I call high-low because it's the way that they sort of come from the sky down. So they'll do that double spin move and they'll lift you out of the air to get elevated. And then when they come down, this is the move that they use. So you can see there's like a half coil there and their mouth gets electric. So you know they're like coming for you. And then it's just 2 big stomps to the ground. It's not that hard to avoid, and there is a little bit of a vulnerability window after. If only I was just a little bit closer. On to sky high. So Kang-Jin Loong will do this move and then stay high up in the air or come right back to the ground. But it's just this like quick wind up, and the wind starts after 1. So as soon as you see the wind up, just try and roll out of the way. It is one of the moves that they do when you're at close range and they just don't want you to be anymore. So keep an eye out for it. Anytime there's a coil up, I typically start doing a bit of dodging to see what's next. Next move is tail spin. It's really the only move that has a wind up that's sort of head over ass. So you'll know it when it's coming. There's a pretty nice opportunity for a perfect dodge because it's so easy to pick up. The problem is after you even perfect dodge, there's these 2 swipes or stomps that come at you that I always forgot about. So just remember those are coming, avoid both of them, and you'll have a little tiny vulnerability window after. Just know there is not one after the tail slam. Next is Dragon Train, essentially a quick coil up, and then Kang-Jin Loong comes at you like a freighter. So here's the coil up, and then coming at you real quick, so you just gotta dodge. And if you can get close, there is a little bit of a vulnerability window after. Next is Stomp Stomp Belly Flop. It's 3 stomps followed by a very quick belly flop and some more cool electric breeze. So you can see there's 1 stomp, 2 stomps, there's a 3rd stomp that happens here, and then a belly flop, and the belly flop's what'll get you. The other 3 sort of stomps, you can pick them up and dodge. You'll be able to do it just instinctually, but that belly flop comes quick. So that's why you got to know where there are 3 stomps, expect the belly flop, and then as always just roll in the opposite direction of the cool electric breeze. So let's move on to attack strategy, and it's similar to most of my other tips, but a little bit different. So with any dragon, you're doing what I call living for the weekends. And so that essentially means that you're doing whatever you can to get some licks in, build your focus meter during whatever vulnerabilities you can find, and then you're really waiting until you knock him into a place where he's like super vulnerable to then get a lot of licks in, get your magic going, and that's really the big thing. So moments like this are what you live for. I should have saved my immobilize till when he was down like that. And then you just get all the damage you possibly can in that, and then you kind of go back to the living for the weekends thing. The other thing I'll add, just as I'm running up to the full and complete battle here where I'll offer some commentary, is magic is huge with Kang-Jin Loong. It's the way you're going to beat him because there aren't a lot of vulnerability windows, and without those vulnerability windows, you're just not going to do enough damage unless you use your magic wisely. So use your immobilize spell a lot. Don't use Pluck of Many. It really doesn't help that much, in my opinion, with Kang-Jin Luong. The thing I do want to say, though, is Wind Tamer will automatically get you a vulnerability window. Just use it when you're a lot closer to them than I was when I just used it. So, as I was saying in my tips, this living for the weekend strategy is kind of being able to pick up moves, not take a lot of damage, and whenever there's a little vulnerability window, using light attacks or your staff spin to build as much focus as possible. Then use a focused enhanced attack to sort of do that little like quick KO thing where he falls to the ground. And then when he falls to the ground, use your magic, use your immobilize, do everything you can to get damage in at those moments. So you're going to see it here. I'm doing my staff spin, I'm building a ton of focus, I'm at 3 bars, and then I'm going to use my focus enhanced attack, and I don't know why it sometimes KOs them, but sometimes doesn't. But I got another immobilize, and while I'm using that immobilize, I'm going to do my transform and get a lot of damage here when I'm able to KO, do that little brief KO here. I mean, that's a big chunk of damage with this special attack from this transformation. And when I'm in transformation, honestly, I'm kind of spamming light attack until I build that bar, and then for this guy to get the special move, for lack of a better term, you just have to press triangle right after a dodge. So yeah, there's the electric cool breeze from up high. Sometimes he does it down low. Here's the Song of Ice and Fire, where you can see his mouth's open. He's clearly singing a delightful tune. During this, like I said in the guide, just keep running around. You should be totally fine. There's not a lot you can do, except if you do have a Wind Tamer here, then you can use it and avoid that whole scenario. And he typically comes down in the same way. He'll sort of dart down and do 2 stomps with his claws. And so just know that. It's one of the predictable moves. Again, cool electric breeze, just roll in the opposite direction. That's a lot of coiling up. I don't think I covered that move in the guide. So yeah, it's another move where he sort of coils vertically and then comes at you like with a swiping stab. So look out for that for sure. It's easy to predict, easy to avoid. It's just you got to know it's coming and dodge at the right moment. So getting that focused enhanced attack in here, that KOs him. This time I don't understand why it doesn't do it every time. Using my light attacks to rebuild some focus bar, but also do a ton of damage. And then very cutesy, use my Wind Tamer to bring him down. If this video or any of my videos do anything for you, don't forget to light attack that subscribe button, heavy attack that like button. It means a lot. Half of anything I ever make goes to a charity we choose every 3 months. And we've already donated over $300. Thanks. Take care of each other and take care of yourself. Peace.